Well, hello and welcome everybody to the new health conversation. And I want to assure the censors, we always tell you we're absolutely staying within community guidelines, and here's why. We only state absolute medical proof that it's in the public domain. So everybody in the audience can go and see exactly what we're talking about. That's why we don't have to make claims. Everything we talk about is safe, everything is backed by medical science. What we feel that we're so different than everybody else that's out there on social media is because we do have these peer-reviewed human trial studies that we actually reference, and everybody can see them. We've also written 4 best-selling books with some of the top medical doctors in the world, so everything is our own original research. There's nothing copied. So just wanted you to know that. Wow, a lot of people joining us. Okay, Josie, hello, Christopher, hello, Joey, Jam, hello, all of you. I think it's important that you understand that we're now in a position where we really have medical evidence that they finally figured out how you can lose weight and keep it off. Let me explain something to you. The most important thing is not just you can lose the weight, like she lost 21 pounds and 38 inches. Yeah, and really in 30 days. But she's kept it off now for 8 years. In my case, I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. This is for real. It's not a diet. It's not about counting calories. It's a breakthrough that took 40 years of research, and they're considered the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. Can you imagine pursuing something for 40 years and finally cracking the code? And what makes it so different, there are 10 peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. In case you all don't know what those are, that's as high as you can go in medical research. No drug ever gets approved without a peer-reviewed human trial study. There is no other diet, exercise, nutrition plan in the world with 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. It's astounding. So everything we want to share with you is backed medically, and it's completely safe. It just took a long time to figure it out. We'll explain to you in great detail exactly what you did. Now you notice right above her head there in blue, it says the new health conversation. That's a free medical website for all of you to go to. You can see the medical proof. We will not contact you. Let me emphasize, we're not here to convince you. We're not here to sell you. However, once people see that what's on that website, then you on your own accord, you can sign up for a free coach, and the coaching is free the whole time. I'm not kidding you. We don't make no, there's no charge for coaching. And essentially what you're going to do, this is going to blow your mind, there's no products involved here. These researchers didn't invent products. What they did, using all their scientific academia for more than 40 years, they figured out new food combinations, part from the United States and mostly from around the world, and then 2 completely new ways of consuming food. Had nothing to do with counting calories. I'd love for anybody to put in the chat the medical definition of a calorie. Does anyone on here actually know what a calorie is? 24 years ago, I didn't know what a calorie was. I've spoken in hospitals and universities around the world, and I always would ask the doctors, what's the definition of a calorie? It was so rare that anybody could get it. But isn't it funny that you're all counting calories on all these silly diets that don't work? Listen, we're looking right now, according to Johns Hopkins Medical School, in about 4.5 years, they're saying 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese. They call it an obesity apocalypse. This is Johns Hopkins Medical School. So I'm not sure what diet you're on, but you're on some form of diet for counting calories. And again, I'd love for anybody to put in the chat, what's a calorie? Also, any of you, be honest, if you wanted to lose 20 pounds, just 20 pounds, how long would you give yourself? Just 20 pounds, okay? So I think the most important thing is we're going to educate you. We're going to show you what's possible. It's not that it's difficult, it's just different, okay? But these researchers, they feel that they don't just feel, they know they've cracked the code on obesity. Imagine she lost 5 pounds a week with no exercise. No one was allowed to exercise because they didn't want exercise to be an outlier, right? I'm going to show you 3 more pictures of people, their results. It's not, people all the time say, oh, that's a photo hack. That's not real. No, we don't Photoshop anything. See, we don't have to Photoshop anything because we're the only ones with actual medical proof, not hyperbole. In other words, it's not about me making you aware of it. All I'm doing is sharing the actual medical science. We're making the medical science speak to all of you and make you aware of it. But seriously, how excited would any of you be if you could lose 5 pounds in a week? Also, can we get some taps on the screen to get some love going? Let's get some likes going. We want this website to be the biggest website on all of social media because we have 1 billion people. Listen to me, 1 billion people worldwide clinically obese. Did you hear what I just said? Not just overweight. 1 billion clinically obese. making obesity, these are not my words, these are the researchers, making obesity the leading form of malnutrition in the world. Did you all know that? If you're in that category, you're starving yourself from a nutritional standpoint. That's why you're never full. That's why you keep eating and eating. It's not your fault. My own mother was morbidly obese my whole life. I never knew her thin. I never knew her healthy. I loved her. It didn't matter. But she had an insatiable appetite. Now I understand why. We're going to explain all that to you in just a moment. First, let's take a look at some of the other people. Look at this, Julie, 35 pounds in 37 days. Look at the change in her body. That is not Photoshop. That's actually real with no exercise. Again, 35 pounds in 37 days. What would you say about that? Is that just mind-boggling that that's even possible? Now, let's take a look at my friend's daughter. This is his daughter. We didn't Photoshop this, although you're going to think it's a different woman. Look at 60 pounds in 3 months. 60 pounds in 3 months. Look at her face, look at her arms, look at her body. That is not Photoshopped in this without any exercise at all. And by the way, she's now kept that off for 8 years. I would love that, Renee is saying. All of you, this is for all of you. Do you understand? This is not our gift, it's the researchers' gift. They pursued the secret for 40 years. Let's call it a secret, because obviously it was. No one had ever figured it out. And also, it's the only system in the world with peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. Aren't you curious? Why isn't every one of you excited about the future? You can now be excited about the future. But imagine, you can lose as much weight in 4 days as in a month of dieting, and it's safe. Also, they measured. No one lost water weight, and in addition, without any exercise, they gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass with no exercise. We're going to talk about diets and how the main thing, or up to 40% of what you lose on any diet, is your lean muscle mass. It's why you gain all your weight back, because you slow down your metabolism. Did any of you know that? Heck, no one's even given me the definition again of what is a calorie? Why are you counting calories? Why? Please tell me why you're counting calories, because someone told you to. Now, the last picture, you get older, it's much harder to lose weight, right? Where do you see this? Curtis, an older gentleman, 40 pounds, 52 inches in 30 days. Read, that's not a misprint. That's not 4 pounds. 40 pounds and 52 inches in 30 days. But the best part, look at his lab work. It's right there. His A1C went from 8.4 to 6.4. His triglycerides from 242 to 124. Has anyone ever? No one's ever seen any results like this, especially even the researchers. Listen, these researchers, they had done 100 studies, thousands of people on every diet out there for 40 years. They weren't their diets. They were the researchers that were evaluating paleo and keto and Mediterranean and time-restricted eating and water fasting and the Cornish and the Zone diet and Jenny Craig and Weight Watchers and Nutrisystem and Atkins and across the board. They invented this out of frustration, and I'll tell you why in just a moment. But just ponder that for a moment. Look at his stomach with no exercise, day 1 to day 30. I know that the thing I'm fighting is your skepticism. I get it. You think maybe we're making, we look, everyone, we don't make anything up. I'm going to show everybody the website. Let me show you how simple it is. You type in the new health conversation. Boom, there it is in Google Clip. There's the website. No, there's nothing to buy there. All those modules are medical proof, number 3 are the actual medical studies. You can click on there and go. You go to the obesity site. You go to nutrients, nutrition, the journals. It takes you to the sites. There's no editing. You can't edit these peer-reviewed human trial studies. It's established science. And yet all of you are following it. Nice people, these influencers, but why aren't they showing you any medical proof at all? You're empowered. You really think these diets work long-term? They don't. And we're going to prove that to you. Again, nothing that I will share with you today is my opinion. I don't want you to believe me. I've been a nutritional researcher for 23 years. I wrote 4 best-selling books, some of the biggest medical doctors in the world. I've appeared 20 times on public broadcasting, PBS. I was interviewed on the 4 biggest daytime shows in America and did over 1,500 live lectures in hospitals and universities and towns in the United States and Canada. They even flew me to China, okay? But for 22 of my 23 years, despite all that academia, in the medical world, you know what it counted for? 0. 0. Why? Because in medicine, and I'm glad, thank God we have these safeguards, they only want to see peer-reviewed human trial studies. They don't want to see a scientific paper. They don't want to see a clinical trial. They want to see a trial done on human beings. That's what this is. And if you go to 3, you get to see the medical proof. So we don't have to prove anything to you. We don't have to convince you. You're going to convince yourself if you go there. Okay, so I know a lot of you are impatient. You got to go to work, maybe whatever. Okay, I'm going to explain to you what they did. So first, as I was mentioning before, this was invented not by me, by the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world. They're rated. They have no products. Listen to me, everyone. They don't sell anything. This is pure science. And what they figured out was, here's why diets can't possibly work. Because first of all, you're all counting calories, and the human body has no idea what a calorie is. It doesn't count calories. So when you're hungry, you think you're hungry for calories? No, 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 no. Your body runs on one principle and one principle only, and that's why we're alive. And you know what that is, everyone? A minimum amount of nutrition. That nutrition is what runs us. Our brain, our heart, our kidney, our lungs all work, not with calories, but nutrition. When you go on a diet, this is what the research figured out. Here's the fatal flaw. When you go on a diet, you're reducing the amount of food you're consuming. But by definition, what else are you reducing? Nutrition. When the brain figures out there isn't enough nutrition, guess what it does? It goes in starvation mode and stops you from accessing the fuel in your fat cells, which is how we should run normally, and shuts that down. But now it needs fuel to be alive. Where does it get the fuel from? Your muscles. As the body begins, the brain is breaking down your muscles, guess what happens? You lose weight initially really quickly, okay? And then it slows down, then it's a trickle, then it stops, then you plateau. Then you get frustrated, you quit the diet, come off and go look for another diet. Because what you've done, 25 to 40% of the weight you're actually losing on any of these diets is your lean muscle mass. It's not up for debate. The medical proof is there. But the other thing you're doing to yourself, by losing lean muscle, you're slowing down your own immune system. So these very diets that you're excited about, the number on the scale, are making you unhealthy. I know you think I'm probably some kind of crazy fool. No, the science is there. Why in the heck more people aren't talking about this? I don't know. I don't care. We're the ones bringing it to you. We want to make you aware. Stop counting calories. It's ridiculous. It doesn't work. It works until it doesn't. Okay, let me say that. And I know I get pushback all the time, but you don't know what you're talking about. It's calories in, calories out. No, it's not. And I'm going to show you the medical proof in a moment from Harvard Medical School, New England Journal of Medicine. Medicare just did a huge study basically saying diets they're huge failures, and they're trying to find a solution. Okay, so what did they do that was different? The researchers said, we don't care about calories. We're not going to have anything to do with calories. What we're doing, 30% of what she consumed or what you would consume was a grocery list that the researchers put together of foods you buy at your grocery store, organic, wherever you're doing this around the world. Proteins, fats, carbs, vegetables, and fruits. What was unique about that was the researchers picked out foods that had the highest level of nutrition and still lower quantities of food. Now that was really important. They won't give you calories. They want you to have serving sizes because they were calculating nutrition, but only 30% of what you would consume on this would come from wherever you are in the world. The other 70%, here's what made it work. Listen to me carefully, everyone. The other 70% came from other researchers, not from us, not from these researchers, who had spent 20 years going around the world to places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, and the Himalayas, South America, New Zealand, to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but small quantities of food. Okay, now you got what you'd be eating, but what you don't have is how to eat. I know that sounds crazy. No, they created 2 new ways of eating. The first one, they had her eat 5 days a week, 4 meals a day. She started with these exotic foods from around the world. That was breakfast, no food from the grocery store. Lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store, and a 4th meal after dinner, these exotic foods from around the world. That's called protein pacing. Notice the word pacing. Why is that important? Because what else the researchers figured out, it didn't matter the amount of nutrition that they gave. It mattered when they gave it, over what period of time, what the spacing, like how much time between like breakfast and lunch, and then how much time between lunch and dinner, and then how much time between dinner and the 4th meal during the day. That mattered. They did it. They did experiments proving that the pacing mattered. 2 days a week, this will blow your minds and you'll get out of control when I tell you, she did 48 hours of intermittent nutritional fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted. In those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods from around the world. But this time she ate 8 times a day. She was eating every hour and a half. Big amounts of nutrition, small quantities of food. That's why it was they call it nutritional fasting. Nobody was hungry. We have people all doing this weigh 500 pounds. They're not hungry. Because, see, they were never hungry for calories. Like you think you're counting calories. No. You need to be counting nutrition. Well, the researchers, they figured it out for you. You don't have to figure out anything. Look at her, 21 pounds and 38 inches in a month. No exercise. And she's kept it off for 8 years. Look at her stomach, day 1, day 30. We're going to talk about that next. The big thing we now know that we didn't know until, believe it or not, 2005. This new medical syndrome, you have it, I have, every person in the world has it. What does TDOS stand for? T for toxins, D for nutritional deficiency, O for being overweight, S is for stress. Well, these 4 factors have come together to cause us to gain weight and make us unhealthy. What it means is we're drinking, we're breathing, we're eating chemicals, whether you know it or not. No conventional diet has ever shown any evidence for removing even a gram of a toxin from the body. These researchers did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis, proving this was assisting our body in removing the chemicals. This is a detox. Secret, there's the secret. It's a real detox. But the difference between it and anything else out there, it's proven in 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. Now, again, you don't have to believe me, but what's actually going on in the world is that all these companies, they're making these claims about what, but they don't have any medical proof. It's just hot air. They're making a claim. This is not just a claim. Look at that. How many of you would be excited, put it in the chat, to lose 20 pounds in a month with no exercise and be able to keep it off? Or more than that, like in the case of Julie here. 35 pounds in 37 days. 35 pounds in 37 days with no exercise. Look at how much her body shrank. I know I get people all the time, but they photo hacked it. The hell we did. We didn't touch the photos. We don't have to change anything because we've got the medical proof for all of you. But what are you all doing? I know most of you are going to go back to whatever diet you were on. It's not going to work, and it's not my opinion. Does anyone really believe that diets are working long term? How could that be possible? When you've got people like Johns Hopkins Medical School saying study predicts obesity apocalypse by 2030. 86% of Americans will be overweight or obese by 2030. You got Harvard Medical School. Stop counting calories. This is Harvard Medical School. They went on to say the idea of a calorie in, calorie out when it comes to weight loss is not only antiquated, it's just wrong. Says Fatima Stanford, obesity specialist, Harvard Medical School. Drop the calories notion, Stanford said. It's time to concentrate on what's in our food, not how much food we're consuming. That's exactly what these researchers did, and they have nothing to do with Harvard. We're here to make you aware. I know the sad part is you're all gonna go and do whatever you're doing. Paleo, keto, Mediterranean, carnivore, count calories, count carbs, macros. None of it works long. It's all just, it's like, it doesn't work. Go to the beach. Go to the beach. Look at America. Look at what's going on. This is crazy. It's a complete catastrophe, and yet what do we keep doing? The same thing over and over with a different name. Name a diet that's not some form of lowering calories, counting calories, restricting calories. But if your body doesn't know what a calorie is, please put it in the chat for me. What the heck? Why are you counting calories? Any of you? Can we get some more taps? We're only at 126 likes. Come on. Do you like this content? We're giving you real medical proof. The other people are giving you lip service, dog water. Don't you want to know? Don't you want to know how Curtis lost 40 pounds in a month and 52 inches? It's not fake. That is real. That really happened with no exercise. That's 10 pounds a week. Aren't you intrigued, some of you? Give me a question. Give me a yes. Give me a shout out or whatever. Come on, let's tap that screen. This is world-class scientific proof. We didn't do it. It's not our science. But we're bringing it to you. Who else? Please put in the chat. I'd love for anybody to tell me who else is showing you anything like this. This is my friend's daughter. Now, you could think we're sinister enough that we'd Photoshop her pictures, but she lost 60 pounds in 3 months. 60. Look at the change in her body. I mean, a lot of, and they say, oh, it's a taller woman. No, if you look at the picture, it's 2 different locations where they shot the pictures. We didn't Photoshop anything. See, but we're so skeptical for a reason. You are all going on these diets and you've heard the yo-yo term because that's what happens. These researchers did 40 years, 100 studies, thousands of people, every diet. And one thing they knew for sure, that every diet failed in the long run, and 2/3 of the people going on any diet they studied gained more weight than they lost. I'd love for anybody, let's have some fun. Michelle, hello, the Cocoa Goddess, Refrigerator, I think that says, Madeline, Wealth Wave, Ayana, 780. Look, if I miss your name, it's not because I'm being rude. I'm concentrated so much on, I've got all this medical proof. But let's look at this, everybody. How about this? This is the cover, Women's World, the #1 women's magazine in the world. This was June 9th, so what is that, 14 days, 2 weeks ago. The two women there, I coached them. As a matter of fact, here's the actual magazine. The daughter is a nurse. She's 57 years old. She lost 50 pounds in 3 months. The mom, who's 80, lost 90 pounds in 9 months, and they both have kept it off for 3 years. It's sold out, I know, on the newsstands. I think you can still get it online if you want. But this is a news story. This is not an advertisement. Look at what they said. This is the magazine writing it. Mom and daughter drop 140 pounds, over 50 protein miracle. But they go on to say, if you can read it in the small print there, powerful new eating pattern. Can take off weight faster than anything else you've tried. That's the magazine telling you. They've researched it. The reason that they did this is because of the medical proof. Nobody else has all these, any other thing you're seeing in these magazines is just about an opinion. Show me any diet you can find that has peer-reviewed human trial studies. Here's the article, everybody. Look at that. It's 2 full pages. Whoops, sorry, there it is. Look at that, new protein miracle diet. What, you think you get on the cover of this? Is it some kind of a scam? I mean, you can think whatever you want. The sad part is most of you won't believe this is real. You'll think it's fake. You won't believe it. But it is real. And it's not based on a product. It's not based on anything other than food and 2 new ways of consuming that food. I'd love for anybody to put in the chat. Does anybody know of a diet that's not some form of counting calories? And again, we only have 127 likes. Can we get some more taps on the screen? 120. Come on, just you tap on the screen. If you like the content, if you don't like the content, don't do it. Plus, you can see right above where it says Women's World in blue, the New Health Conversation. It's a free medical website. We won't contact you if you go there. The only thing there is the medical proof that you get to see. If you like what you see, notice right above, free coaching. You get free coaching because you've never done anything like this before. None of us had. I got coached when I did it 23 years ago. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. The more I tell you, the real I make you more skeptical. I get it. It's okay. But what you have to understand is the science. It's the science. It doesn't matter whether you like me or believe me. The science doesn't change. You know, people come on and they want to call me names. Great, but the science doesn't care about that. The science is the science. And you get to see it. I mean, right here, if you go to the website and you type in the new health conversation, go to Google, boom, there it is. There's the website. There's nothing to buy there. Those are all medical, look right there, number 3, the peer-reviewed studies. You get to see the actual peer-reviewed studies. Why wouldn't you go there, everybody? Because you think somehow you've been brainwashed that this paleo, keto, Mediterranean, time-restricted eating, macros, count your carbs, carnivore, whatever diet it might be, long-term works. They don't work long-term. Or I shouldn't say maybe 0.1% of people lose weight and keep it off, maybe. When you have major people saying that what we're doing is a catastrophe, because it is. Here are just some of the big studies that are out there. Okay, listen to this. Why you shouldn't count calories. This is not my opinion. Please listen for your benefit. Okay, this is what they're talking about. Why you shouldn't count calories, which she didn't. That had nothing to do with counting calories. How she lost 21 pounds and 38 inches in 30 days with no exercise and kept it off for 8 or 9 years. But here's what they're saying about the diets you're on right now. Why you shouldn't count calories. Truth is, calorie counting is a terrible approach for weight loss. While counting calories and restricting calories can help you lose weight in the short term, the approach has never been proven to keep weight off long term. What's even worse, 2/3 of people who try to count or restrict calories gain back more weight than they lost. They go on to say counting calories increases chronic psychological stress and cortisol production, two factors that are known to cause weight gain. You're going on a diet to gain weight. What in the world are we doing? Now, you might think I'm a mad scientist. No, I'm not. It doesn't matter if you're mad. The science doesn't care. The science is the science. But if you think you're on a diet right now counting calories and somehow you're going to keep that weight off long term, no, you're going to end up, and you're making yourself unhealthy, because 25 to 40% of what you're losing, based on science, is your lean muscle mass. Once you lose lean muscle, your body slows down your metabolism. It's not like you get off the diet and start eating, your metabolism comes back. No. That's why you gain all that weight back. But more importantly, you're slowing down your own immune system. What? Yeah. Sadly, I lost my younger brother to kidney cancer in 2011. My brother was 6'4". And from the time he was diagnosed until he passed away, it was 8 months. When he passed away, he weighed 115 pounds. I could carry him in my arms. He wasted away, and that's the problem with cancer, that people lose their appetite, they don't eat, and most of what they're losing is lean muscle mass, which slows down their metabolism. So you're going on a diet, thank God forbid, you don't have cancer. I'm not saying that. But you're losing lean muscle, which is the major contributing factor to what? Our immune system. What in the world are you doing? So that 20 pounds you lost, 5 to 8 pounds of that is your lean muscle. Do you know in this case they measured lean muscle for her and everybody else? They gained 6 to 9% lean muscle with no exercise. Which one would you rather do? Even if you could find a diet where you could lose 21 pounds in a month, tell me which one you think it would be. But in her case, you're going to lose, of the 21 pounds, 5 to 8 pounds of muscle you're losing, she's gaining 6 to 9% lean muscle. Does this make sense to everybody? I don't see any comments. People are just, really, is it just hard to believe that something like this exists? Hi, AKA Sam. I see Matt Malls. I see Greg. I see Bonbon. I see Joe joined. I see me. Again, can we get some more taps? We're only at 204 likes. This is life-changing research, not my research. I'm not taking any credit for it. We're conveying it. We're making it available to you. We're the researchers of the researchers. You have a free website to go right above your head in blue there. You can see it, the New Health Conversation. If you go there, you get to see all the medical proof for free, and we won't contact you. Let me repeat that. If you go there, we're not going to contact you. We shouldn't have to be in a position where we have to convince you. And right above that, if you like what you see, here's what's different about this. No, you're not signing up for anything. You don't have to get a coach to see all the medical proof. We want you to see the medical proof first because, again, we don't want to waste our time either. We want you to... Now, that doesn't mean you won't have questions, and it doesn't mean the coaches won't answer all your questions. But they're not going to convince you. They're not going to sell you. You should be asking about, okay, how could this help me? Now, look, part of the reason we do the free evaluation and the free coaching, we got kids as young as 2 doing this. We have a lady 91 years old. We have people with no thyroids, let alone hypothyroidism and goiter and all the other things going on. We have a man with a heart transplant. We have people with no kidneys. We have people with no gallbladders. And we're not treating, curing, diagnosing, and preventing any medical conditions. Hear that right away. No way are we doing that. But what we are doing is we're sharing with you what's in the medical studies. What do you want to believe, everybody? I'm saying, I don't want you to believe me. I don't have to have you believe me. But honest to gosh, if you believe in science, if you really believe in real science, not people giving you some lip service on social media about, oh, do time-restricted eating, you're going to lose 20 pounds in a month and most of it's fat. Well, right away, that's a lie. You do not lose fat, everybody. You're born with a certain number of fat cells. You die with a certain number of fat cells. No diet, no exercise program. You don't lose any fat. The fat cells shrink or expand. That's it. But there's another sinister thing going on. I talked about it before, that we all have this, including me, this syndrome, T for tox. This is a registered trademark U.S. Patent Office. Recognized as a new medical condition. I discovered it, Peter Greenlaw. So T is for toxins, D for nutrition deficiency, O for being overweight, S is for stress. What it means is we're drinking, eating, breathing chemicals. These researchers did blood, stool, urine, fat analysis, proving that this protocol was assisting the body in removing the chemicals. That's why her stomach shrank so much, because the body, when we ingest these chemicals, takes that chemical and stuffs it inside your visceral fat, and those fat cells expand like a balloon taking on air. Does this make sense to all of you? That's what you're doing to yourselves. That's why you all complain to us about how much, it's not just how much weight you have, but how much fat you have on your body. Did you ever wonder why? Did anyone even tell you? And you know you've seen the people lose all that weight with all the loose skin. I mean, when you look at her stomach on day 1, and then look at her stomach on day 30. That's with no exercise a lot, no sit-ups, no crunches, no saunas, no running, no anything. The researchers made people wear Fitbits to prove they weren't exercising, because people went on this, they wanted to lose weight, right? So what's been drilled into their head? Diet and exercise, count calories. They had to unlearn all that. They had to start over. They had to start with a blank sheet of paper and take on a whole new process. Aren't some of you curious about how she did that? No, you're just going to keep doing paleo, keto, Mediterranean, and lose weight and gain it all back? Look, here's Medicare. This isn't me saying this. You think your diet's going to work? Listen to Medicare. Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments. Diets are not the answer. Our Medicare researchers reviewed studies of long-term outcomes of calorie-restricted diets and diets to assess whether any diet is an effective treatment for obesity. The studies show that 2/3 of dieters regained more weight than they lost on any diet. In summary, there's little support for the notion that diets lead to lasting weight loss or health benefits. This is Medicare telling you diets are not the answer. That's not me saying that. Do you not believe the science, and yet you're willing to believe an influencer giving you an opinion? You're turning over your health to someone giving you an opinion. Now you can do that because you are doing it, and most of you are going to go do that. You're not even going to go and look at the medical proof that's right there at the New Health Conversation. Why? Why not? It's for you. If you go there, we're not even going to contact you. There's no books for sale there. My books aren't for sale. There's nothing. There's nothing to buy. I'm going to show it again. If you go to Google, type in the New Health Conversation, boom, there's the website. Nothing to buy. Only the medical proof. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, those are all video explanations, including number 1. Oh, I forgot to tell you that. Number 1 is a podcast with the number 1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world, who he and his team put this together. And he says in there, they will never, after 40 years, 100 studies, every traditional diet, they'll never recommend a traditional diet to anyone ever again. They said it would be unethical. Because it said, Peter, we now have evidence that we'd put people on diets for 8 weeks and they'd lose weight, but up to 40% of what they were losing was lean muscle. And 2/3 of people gained back more weight than they lost after 40 years. We finally got frustrated and said there has to be a new way. There has to be a different way. We've got to crack the code on obesity. In 1964, 15% of America was overweight or obese. Did you hear me? And they're projecting now by 2030, in 4.5 years, 86% of you are going to be overweight or obese. I don't understand. I guess I should. That if I was in your shoes, I probably would be skeptical too, because everything I've tried has failed. I get person after person going, I lost 50 pounds, I've gained it all back. I did the shot, I did gastric bypass, I did, whatever it was. Do you all understand that? Go to the beach. Just go to the beach and look at America, and you tell me if you think diets are working. This may be one of the biggest breakthroughs in the history of mankind. Not my breakthrough. I didn't have anything to do with it. But the major now obesity weight loss researchers in the world are championing these research and saying, you guys have cracked, guys and girls, you've cracked the code on obesity. They've been chasing this answer for more than 100 years. Now they have the answer, and you can see it for free if you go to the New Health Conversation. Again, I don't see anybody even curious. How did she do that? Hello, me. Hello, Joel. Hello, Evelyn. Hello, Blonde. Hello, Alicia. It is. Hi, Alicia. Hello, Sunshine. We have lots and lots of people. Well, good. We got the likes up now to 1,300. Look, everyone, this is for all of you. These researchers' gift to you is here's the science, and they have no products to sell. There are no products. This is based on the researchers' research saying this. Here's why this works. I'm going to explain it to you right now. It's not based on calorie counting. The most ridiculous thing we ever came up was counting calories. The body has no idea what a calorie even is. The body only cares about one thing, a minimum amount of what? Nutrition. It's going to make it really simple. When you go on a diet, you reduce the quantity of food you're consuming. By definition, what else you're reducing? Nutrition. When your brain senses not enough nutrition, it's pretty simple. It stops you from accessing the fuel in your fat cell, which is how we're supposed to work, and shuts that down and turns for fuel to your muscles. As it breaks your muscles down to fuel all the organs, brain, kidney, liver, etc., it has no choice. Not only does it slow down your metabolism, and that's why you plateau, and that's why you gain all your weight back, but worse, it also, by losing lean muscle, you also slow down your own immune system. So the very diets you're on right now are making you unhealthy. Now, you may move the number on the scale, you may look good in your bikini or your shorts, those are all good. But the problem is, what do you do next? Let's say you did lose the weight. Let's say you don't even know about the science about you're making yourself unhealthy. Let's say you don't care. You just want to look good in your bathing suit. All right. But now what? How do you keep that weight off? Because 2/3 of you are going to end up weighing more than what you did. So temporarily you felt good, you look good, but why not having that be possible for the rest of your life? You know what this protocol is called? R2M, race to maintenance. It has nothing to do with losing the weight. That's the least important part. The most important part of this is this proof through blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis that this protocol is helping you remove chemicals that you're storing inside your body, inside your fat cells, and that's why you all have that. You all complain about how much weight you lose and how much fat's on your body. Our body is evolving, trying to protect us from the chemicals by the only way it knows how, by taking that chemical and stuffing it inside your fat cells. Look at her waist on day one. There's the bloating caused by the accumulation of the chemicals in her fat cells. And look at day 30. All aglow. It's not, the article you're talking about in Women's World, great. I need this weight, 149, 140, J. Juliet, great. Okay, so would you like, any of you like me to explain again exactly how they did it? Please give me a yes. I'm happy to do it. That's my job. I'm here to make you aware. I'm not here to convince you. I'm not here to sell you. I've been a nutritional researcher for 23 years. None of it's my research, but we're bringing you the proof, the research that we have on the website that you can see right above our head there. That is the medical proof. You can go there, you can see all the medical proof, and if you like what you see, you can get a free coach. I'm telling you, free coaching, no gimmicks. We all got coached. No one had ever done this before. When they started these research studies about almost 13 years ago, no one had ever done what they were about to. The researchers didn't even know if it was going to work. They thought it was theoretical. But it was really, when you think about it, it was the most logical thing there ever could be. If your body only runs on nutrition, why would you think that relying on food from a calorie standpoint of view and not relying on food from how much nutrition was in the food, made any sense? Since the body doesn't know what a calorie is, and it does know what nutrition is, doesn't it make sense? What they did, they went and found foods that had high levels of nutritional content. They call it nutritional density. And you get a grocery list. I'm explaining to you exactly what they did, what she did to lose. I mean, all of you, aren't you? I mean, please tell me, any of you, 21 pounds and 38 inches in a month with no exercise, how much, what would you all think about that? Tell me, would that be exciting? Would it be unbelievable? 5 pounds a week? You're lucky to lose a pound a week, as you know. So the researchers said, we need to change the dynamic and go find foods. First criteria, high levels of nutrition. Not high levels of food, and certainly nothing to do with calories. So they put a grocery list together for her and everybody. Only 30% of what she consumed in a month came from this grocery list that you'd go to your local grocery store. Whether you live in England or Australia or New Zealand or the United States or Canada, you get a grocery list of proteins, fats, carbs, fruits and vegetables. But they didn't give her, or anybody else, serving sizes. They didn't give her calorie counts. They gave her serving sizes. Now, these are the top people in the world. Listen to me. The top nutrition, weight loss physiologists in the world. They're rated. I trust them. They know what they're doing. versus somebody on social media giving you an opinion with no medical background. No, I mean, they might even have a medical background, but they don't have any medical proof. So the researchers, that was the first criteria. 30% of what you've consumed came from a grocery list. But here was the key. They knew, and in case you don't know, our food in North America is becoming almost nutritionally bankrupt. You take a bowl of spinach from 1953, the iron levels in spinach. Cornell University did a study, 1953 to 2020. They estimate the iron levels in spinach have decreased, you ready for this, everyone, by 4,300%. Do you wonder why you're never full? That means a bowl of spinach in 1953, in the 2020, you'd need around 20 bowls of spinach to equal the amount of nutrition, which is the only thing you care about. You don't care about calories. You don't care about how much. You care about how much nutrition, or you should after this. You're going to learn. So the researchers found other researchers, excuse me, who for 20 years, they kept saying our food in North America is becoming nutritionally bankrupt. So they set out, these researchers, they physically went to places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, and the Himalayas, South America, New Zealand, to find nutrients or foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but small amounts of quantity, no herbicides, no pesticides, etc. So that's what she was going to eat. Excuse me. But then the key was a new way of eating that they invented. Listen to me what this is. 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. She started with these exotic foods around the world. That was breakfast, lunch from the grocery store list, dinner from the grocery store list. Now remember, those amounts were based on serving sizes, not calories. And a 4th meal after dinner, these exotic foods from around the world. That's called protein pacing. Notice the word pacing. This is another critical part they figured out. Through all their experiments, they realized it made a difference when you ate, not just how much nutrition you were getting. So for example, if they packed all the nutrition into 2 meals a day, it wasn't as effective. So they figured it out. How much time between breakfast and lunch? How much time between lunch and dinner? How much time between dinner and then your 4th meal during the day? Protein pacing, that mattered. We teach you all that. We learned it, okay? But 2 days a week, this is the part that'll spin all of you out of Earth's orbit. They did something completely crazy called intermittent nutritional fasting. What? Fasting with nutrition, not a fast, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. In those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods from around the world, but this time she was eating 8 times a day. She ate about every hour and a half. Do you know that we had people weighing 400 or 500 pounds? They weren't hungry because they never were hungry for calories. They were hungry for nutrition. That's why this works. Can you imagine? She lost 21 pounds and 38 inches with no exercise, and instead of losing any lean muscle, which you lose on every diet, she gained 6 to 9% lean muscle. Who's interested in that? Who's excited about that possibility? I didn't even tell you the best part. So 30%, if you took your grocery bill from last month, 30% you spend at your grocery store. The other 70% goes towards buying these exotic foods, which pretty much typically pays for them. And those researchers, on the food you'd buy from them, they give you a 100% money back guarantee in the first month. What? Yeah, you heard me. As a matter of fact, if you go to the website, that's one of the things, if you do decide you want to coach, it says 100% money back guarantee on that 70% of what you're going to spend. I don't get it. You have to eat. But are you going to go to Russia? Are you going to go to Mongolia? Are you going to go to Tibet? Are you going to go to South America, New Zealand to find these nutrients that are now at your fingertips? Our coaches show you how to, you don't buy anything from the coaches. You don't buy anything from these researchers. You go and buy directly from those suppliers who'll give you 100% of your money back in the first 30 days. Please tell me where I'm losing my mind. Why wouldn't you do that? I'd love for somebody to tell me, why wouldn't you do it? Sounds too good to be true. Look, your skepticism is erased because there's 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies. What does it mean? It means that they're done on human beings, and they've been scrutinized by the top medical doctors and researchers in the world. That's what a peer-reviewed human trial study. See, for example, one of these big studies was published in obesity. Obviously it goes to all the obesity clinics in the world. They decide if they're going to publish your work. They don't review it. They send it out to other world-class experts because the journals have to be neutral. Do you understand what I'm saying? I mean, otherwise you'd say, well, they were paid to... No, it doesn't work like that. I understand this, it's too good to be true. And again, I'd love for any, so how much is going to cost my wallet to complete the... Okay, Edgar Allan Endo. Edgar. you're probably going to spend about as much as you spent last month on your total food bill. Because, see, you're buying directly from these suppliers. You're not buying anything from us. There's no middleman, all right? Now, again, you understand, well, you wouldn't, how would you know this? But we have people, we have a boy we have someone, more than one, 2-year-olds. We have a 91-year-old. This lady right here, who I coached, the daughter is a nurse, 57 years old, 50 pounds in a month, 3 months, sorry. The mom lost 90 pounds in 9 months, and they both kept it off for 3 years. So everything depends, as far as the cost goes. What do you want to accomplish? Because we have people who want to gain weight. We have athletes. Like a 2-year-old is not going to spend, is not buying as much as an 80-year-old, right? So in general terms, at the outside, maybe it would cost you not $25 a week more than what you're spending now on food, because it depends on what your food budget is. I'm just being honest. But Edgar, it's 100% money back guarantee in the first 30 days. It's almost like, how could you not try this? You have to eat. And the other 30% is the most nutritiously dense food you can find, and you don't have to figure it out. They give you the serving sizes. It's all laid out. As a matter of fact, every one of you would get, not only in the coaching, you also get this, which is what they used in the medical trials, called the Blueprint for Success, that they gave to all their patients. The yellows are all daily videos showing you exactly what to do by the researchers, telling you it's safe. And these researchers that created this, they don't have any products. They don't sell anything. So they have no financial gain by teaching you how to do this. But they've spent 40 years of their lives cracking this code, and they wanted to give people the opportunity to do exactly what they did in the medical trials. That's what we're teaching you. We didn't know how to do this. We were taught. We were coached. So again, what I would say to you, Edgar, because the coaching's free, go talk to a coach about your individual situation. Because typically, understand, it's not just the first 30 days, it's maintenance. And maintenance, I'll tell you right now, maintenance can be as little as $5 a day. It's breakfast every day, just to let you know. It's very, very affordable. But instead of having cereal or oatmeal or bacon and eggs in the morning, you put the most dense nutritional food in your body once a day. Why wouldn't you do that? All of you. This whole thing is called R2M, Race to Maintenance. The main reason, two big reasons to do it. One is to maintain, and number two is to detoxify your body. Because Edgar, that's really the main thing you want to be cognizant of. This is a detox. It really does work. So that's a great question, Edgar. Thank you very much. Who else would like to ask me a question? We have lots of people on here. Well, we're at 1,600 likes. Come on, everybody. Let's really hit the likes. Look, everyone, this is for all of you. Again, if you want to go to the website, see the New Health Conversation, just go to Google, type in the New Health Conversation. It comes first thing in Google, boom, there it is. There's nothing to buy. Those tabs are all medical. Well, number 3, for example, are the medical studies. We're totally transparent. We're letting you see everything up front. You're not joining anything. There's no membership fees, nothing. All you're doing is buying food. Not from us. I mean, I don't know how to, I guess I don't know how to explain it any better than that. So again, let's get some more taps on the screen. We're at 1,600. I know we can get to 2,000. Why do you eat in the morning? Great question. Here's why. Because last night when you went to sleep, as long as you didn't eat too late, once you suspended or slowed down your digestion, your body automatically turned on an incredibly powerful mechanism, detox. It's called autophagy. It's when your body is getting rid of all the dead cells. For your body to perform that function, autophagy, it takes tremendous amounts of fuel. It takes tremendous amounts of nutrition. So when you wake up in the morning, like if you're referring to this crazy, don't eat for 16 hours, eat for 8 nonsense bullcrap, proven to be completely ineffective, by the way, in the medical studies. If you need me to show you the proof, I will in a moment. When you wake up in the morning, you are nutritionally bankrupt. And if you don't give yourself nutrients, your body will begin to break your muscles down. I'll prove it to you right here. Okay, here's this one of the studies done on this. I think you're referring probably to this time-restricted eating, where you stop eating at 8 o'clock at night and you don't eat till noon the next day. Well, let's look at the medical evidence. This is a 3-month study done by the Journal of the American Medical Association. So instead of someone giving you an opinion, which they are, I'm giving you the medical facts. Here's what they said, and I'm going to read from the study. The Journal of the American Medical Association, new research found that overweight adults who were assigned to routinely fast 16 hours daily over the course of 3 months gained almost no benefit from it, lost an average of 2 to 3.5 pounds, and most of the weight they shed was not body fat but lean muscle mass. That's exactly my point. These people gain 6 to 9%. Now remember, this is intermittent nutritional fasting. So you're getting the reason, for example, in this case, on the days when she's doing the 48-hour intermittent nutritional fast, first meal of the day, these exotic foods, but she's eating 7 more times. She's eating 8 times a day. She's not waiting till noon to eat. She's eating as food she gets up in the morning. You understand that what they're telling, if you're doing what I think you're doing, there's no, the medical proof says no. It's nothing but a low-calorie diet. It's nonsense. It's just total nonsense. Doesn't work. I mean, they said the majority of what you're losing is not fat, but lean muscle mass. Why would you want to do that? Do you see what I'm saying? This is the misinformation that you're all suckered into because you're all doing these crazy diets, counting calories, none of which work long term. Yeah, I get really emotional. I get it. People get mad at me because I've calmed down. I'm not going to calm down. This makes me really, really crazy. We have the medical proof. Well, more importantly, we have the solution. We have the solution. People are losing as much weight in 4 days as a month on this crazy time-restricted eating or any of that nonsense. That's nonsense. Unless you can show me peer-reviewed human trial studies proving it, you can't. I mean, even Harvard Medical School, right here, stop counting calories. Most people are taught that losing weight is a matter of math. Cut calories 3,500 and you lose a pound. But as it turns out, experts are learning that this decades-old strategy is totally misguided. This is Harvard Medical School telling you this, going on to say the idea of a calorie in, calorie out when it comes to weight loss is not only antiquated, it's just wrong. It's just wrong, says Fatima Stanford, obesity specialist, Harvard Medical School. Drop the calories notion, Stanford said. It's time to concentrate on what's in our food, not how much food we're consuming. So these cockamamie schemes like this, you fast for 16 hours, no. Do it if you want. Do it at your own peril. Because 25 to 40% of what you lose, even if you lose weight, they already said in the study that the majority of what you lose is lean muscle mass. That's not my opinion. Now do you understand why you eat in the morning? Cecilia, what you do you see right above her head there? Give me a yes, Cecilia, the new health conversation. There's nothing to sign up for, first of all. If you go there, it's the medical proof. Once you're satisfied with the medical proof, then you get a free coach, and they'll show you how to order the food from the grocery store. You're not buying anything from them, and how to order these exotic foods. And then they'll coach you and teach you how to do this, not just to initially lose your weight, but to show you how to keep it off for the rest of your life. Cecilia, I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. That's what should excite you. Does that make sense, Celia? Can you give me a yes, or what are you proposing? Sugar Ray, the work for Big Sugar Ray. Well, let's see. You don't call, Tina, you don't have to call anybody. You go to the website. If you like what you see, scroll down and you fill in your contact information, they'll reach out to you. We're not going to call you unless you give us the permission to call you. I mean, Tina, isn't that fair? So, Sugar Ray, let me ask you, it's not what I'm proposing, okay, Sugar Ray? Let me explain to you. It was this, what you're looking at there, but let me show you this, Sugar Ray. How about this guy? How about 40 pounds and 52 inches in a month? How about that, Sugar Ray? Have you ever seen anything like that in your life? I'm going to explain to you what they did in a moment. It's not a diet. It's not about counting calories. It's not about diet and exercise, okay? So let's stay back with Kristen. So 5 pounds a week. Sugar Ray, would you be happy with 5 pounds a week with no exercise? Not that they're against exercise and not that you can't exercise. But in these studies, they didn't want anybody to exercise because then you would have said, well, they lost weight because it was diet and exercise. So they eliminated exercise. So here's why this works. Every diet out there at the end of the day is some form of counting calories. But the problem with that, Sugar Ray, unless you know, which I haven't had many people tell me, what's the definition of a calorie? We're counting them, but why? We don't even know what they are. I didn't know what a calorie was, so don't feel bad. So the researchers, after 40 years, 100 studies, thousands of people, Sugar Ray, they figured out why diets don't work. It's really pretty simple. Our body has no concept of a calorie. It doesn't work on calories. It doesn't care about calories. When you're hungry, you're not hungry for calories. Your body runs on one basic principle, and that basic principle is we have a minimum amount, not of calories that we need on a daily basis, but nutrition. So Sugar Ray or any of you, when you go on a diet, you lower the amount of the amount of food you're consuming. By definition, what else? You're lowering nutrition. Now, you may not know what happens when your brain senses not enough nutrition via fuel to run all your organs. It panics, goes in starvation mode, and prevents you from accessing the fuel inside your fat cell, turns that off, and goes in survival mode and begins to break your muscles down for fuel. As the muscles are broken down, the brain then continues. It has to slow down your metabolism because there still is not enough energy or enough fuel to run everything. And it also slows down, Ray, your own immune system. So by going on a diet, you're making yourself unhealthy. So the researchers said, wait a minute, we're going to try something completely different when they invented this. By the way, these researchers there's no products here, Ray. This is food, okay? But the researchers put together a list of foods because they're the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world, rated the #1 researchers. So they put together a list of proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. But instead of giving you calorie counts, they gave serving sizes because they were calculating. They didn't care about calories. They cared about how much nutrition you were going to get, but only 30%. Now, here's what makes it work, Ray, why it's so unique. The researchers found other researchers who for 20 years had gone around the world to places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, and the Himalayas, South America, New Zealand, with one goal in mind, to find foods that had very high levels of nutrition, but small quantities of food, including in areas of the world where people are living to be 100 years old and older on a regular basis. So now the researchers had the foods. They had 30% you get from your grocery store and 70% from the exotic foods. And then they invented two completely different ways for all of you to eat. 5 days a week, she would have 4 meals a day. You'd start with these exotic foods that come from around the world that you can't buy at your grocery store. Lunch from the grocery store list, dinner from the grocery store list, and a 4th meal after dinner from these exotic foods from around the world. And that's called protein pacing. Now, what's pacing mean? Here was the other thing they found that was really interesting, but proven medically. It mattered not that they were getting, like, if you did 2 meals a day with all the same amount of nutrition, it didn't work, because the body couldn't process it effectively. So what they did, they determined a pattern of eating. Breakfast to lunch, how long was that? Lunch to dinner, how long was that? Dinner to the 4th meal, how long was that? It's all laid out. You don't have to guess. They know what they're doing. 2 days a week, you do something. Here's really the reason to do this. You're doing something called intermittent nutritional fasting, not fasting. On those days, no food from the grocery store. So this is not fasting or water fasting or time restricted eating. It's fasting with nutrition. So on those days, she only consumed these foods from around the world, but ate them 8 times a day. Nobody was hungry. We had people who weighed 500 pounds. They weren't hungry. See, we've never been hungry for calories. This is a marketing scheme. It's a marketing scheme to count calories, and the body doesn't count calories. The body has no idea what a calorie is. It's the most ridiculous thing we've ever been roped into. Your body only cares about nutrition. When you have enough nutrition, the brain's cool. It won't burn your muscles. It'll continue to use the energy in your fat cell. Also, that picture's 8 or 9 years old, Ray. She's kept the weight off for 8 or 9 years. Ray, I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. Now, they're not against exercise. Don't hear me say that. But she didn't exercise, still gained 6 to 9% lean muscle loss, no water weight. Ray, there's nothing like this on the planet. I just showed you Curtis. I mean, 40 pounds, and look, an older guy, look at his stomach. That's not photoshopped in 30 days, but look at his blood work. That's the thing that's so impressive. His A1C from 8.4 to 6.4, triglycerides 242 to 124 in a month. Now, Ray, let me show you if you exercise. This gentleman exercised. How about 50 pounds in 4 months? Look at that transformation. It's not photoshopped. It really was 4 months. Look at that. This is not a diet, everybody. It's going to change the world. It could change your world. And right even there in blue above his name, you can see it, the New Health Conversation. You go there, we won't contact you. I know you don't believe that, but we're not. We're so busy, there's no way we have time to chase you down to try to convince you or sell you. You get right above free coaching. The coaches will answer all your questions. But they don't sell you anything. They're going to show you, here's your grocery list. Take it to the grocery store. Here's how to buy directly. Then they'll coach you and show you exactly what to do every day until you get to your goals, and then teach you how to stay there by going on maintenance. I mean, this girl is the daughter of a friend of mine. Now, granted, she didn't exercise like the other gentleman. He exercised, but she lost 60 pounds in 3 months. He lost 50 pounds in 4 months. She beat him. with no exercise. Well, she's a lot younger too. It's the same woman. I know you all think yesterday, oh, that's photo hacked. Really? What proof do you have of that? Oh, because she's taller on the right. She's in a different room. Look at everybody. Look at the chandelier above her head on the left, and look at the smoke alarm above her head on the right. So Sugar Ray, does that make sense? And does everybody understand, including you, Tina? You see the website there, the New Health Conversation above her name in blue. And when you go there, Tina, but Tina, understand, we're not going to call you. The only way we'll call you, Tina, is if you decide, you get to decide. If you want a free coach, they'll call you, they'll text you, call you, email, and go over everything with you. And then if you want to do it, they'll coach you for free. The coaching is free, everybody. The consultation is free. There's no gimmicks. There's no tricks. I know it sounds too good to be true, but it's better than that. I would ask it. Oh, thank you, Tina. Yeah, it's free to go there, Tina, so you don't have a lot of risk, right? Now, for the rest of you, I'd love for anybody to put in the chat for me. Wow, we're at 2,000 likes. Come on, let's get some more taps on that screen, though. For the rest of you, how excited would you all be if you could lose 20 pounds in a month with no exercise and 38 inches and keep the weight off for the rest of your life and lose no water and gain 6 to 9% lean muscle mass? How much would that excite you? Or anybody, just tell me, how long would you give yourself to lose 20 pounds? You're all suffering, I think, from skeptical shock. You can't believe something like this exists. So let me ask you this. Just because this wasn't invented doesn't mean it isn't possible. I mean, how are we right now? I'm talking to people all over the world. There's no wires. The only thing, my computer's plugged into the wall. That's it. How is this even possible? I don't know. I don't care, but I know it works. So do you think with 1 billion people now worldwide, 1 billion clinically obese, all right, that certainly someone would be looking for a solution? And these researchers spent 40 years, 100 studies, thousands of people on, they did, not me, pretty much every diet out there, from paleo to keto to Mediterranean to time-restricted eating to water fasting to the Atkins diet to the zone diet to the lose weight for your blood type to the Cornish diet, South Beach diet, Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, Nutrisystem. 40 years of research. And the one conclusion was this, that 2/3 of people, no matter what the diet was, all gained more weight than they lost in the long run. That's the reality of where we are. I read earlier today, just so you don't think I make things up, because I don't. This is from Johns Hopkins Medical School. This is what you all can look forward to. Study predicts obesity apocalypse. By 2030, 86% of Americans will be overweight or obese. They go on to say, we estimate by 2048, all American adults will become overweight or obese. What? Yeah, that's where we're headed. And some of you are young enough, you'll be around probably in 2048. I hope I am. But anyway, well, I just want the years I have to be as good as they can be. See, we talk about this. This is a system. This isn't supplements. There's no supplements. There's no products to buy. It's food. There's no supplements. Because this has tremendous amounts of the nutrition you need. You don't need supplements unless it's doctor's order, like you're low in calcium or maybe have an iron deficiency, right? So let's see. Who else just... Oh, Tina, you'd be over the moon. I know, Tina. Got to stop the obesity epidemic. Yeah, just Jay Prosperity. Thank you very much. Look, Jay Prosperity, do you understand we've started a movement? Do you get that? The New Health Conversation is a movement. That's why we've made the medical proof free. Well, it's not, first of all, we couldn't charge because we didn't do the research. That's number one. That would be a copy. There are, obviously, we know the researchers because they helped us to develop this whole system that they're putting people on, because we were the ones that went to them and said, look, we want to learn, what are you doing? How is this even possible? And that's why we developed with them. Just to let you know, Jay Prosperity, it's called the Blueprint for Success. Now, this is the medical explanations to their patients as they put them through these daily videos in layman's terms. This is why you're doing this on day one. This is why it's safe. This is why we'll never this is why you'll never diet again. Diet meaning counting calories, calories in, calories out, diet and exercise, 10,000 steps. I know it's too good to be true. But listen, everybody, we have 1 billion people worldwide, clinically obese, fellow members of humanity, fellow members of the world. And what I'll tell you what's happening, people are going on this and they're becoming so motivated by their own results. They're coming to us and say, look, can we help you coach other people? The coaching's free because we can't do it by ourselves. We can't, it's impossible. So some of you, there's more than a few now that are there because they're going to work and everybody's saying, what the hell did you just do? Right? So everybody gets coached. But the coaching is really, supported because this is really like paint by the numbers. Really, the coaches are there more to kind of give you moral support. Or if you do have technical questions, like maybe in the middle of it, you've got an anniversary coming up, or you have a dinner that you didn't expect, or, and the coach says, okay, how can we modify that particular day to fit into what your life is? Look, I did this 23 years ago, I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks and kept it off. I still eat pizza and ribs, and I have adult beverages every once in a while, but I eat less than I used to, and things that I used to eat, like pizza. I love pizza. Hell, 23 years ago, I probably could eat a whole pizza. Now, if I have 2 slices, I'm full, because it's not based on quantities. It's based on how much nutrition is already in my body. So I'm not starting in a deficit like all of you are every day. You're in a nutritional deficit, even if you're eating organic. 200 studies prove that organic is slightly better than regular food nutritionally. Let me give you an example of something you're nutritionally deficient, even if you do organic. They're called trace ionic minerals. I'm not talking about iron, calcium, magnesium. I'm talking about these little tiny minerals, things like gold, silver, zinc, beryllium, boron, selenium, and molybdenum. In the best organic you can find in this country, you get 20. You need 70. So I don't care how much you eat, you're not getting the other 50. These researchers found a source with all 70 trace ionic minerals. That's why this is based on, for lack of a term, nutritional density. It's not based on calories. It has nothing to do with calories. Because, again, I've been waiting this whole time for someone to tell me, Tanya, the blueprint, the coaching, listen to me, Tanya, free, no charge for any of it. All you're buying, Tina, nothing from us. You're buying 30% of your food from the grocery store and 70% directly from these suppliers who supply these exotic foods from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. I know it sounds good to be, no, there's no charge for the coaching or the blueprint or anything, because you don't know how to do this. What, we're just going to have you go to the grocery store and get this, and now you got a pile of food and you're going like, okay, now what? Where's my recipe? I know it sounds too good to be true, Tina. Trust me, we've been doing this. We know it works. I mean, it can work for you. Tanya, how much, yeah, Jay Prosperity, I'm glad you're on the same page. But Tanya, how excited would you be if you could lose 20 pounds in a month, 5 pounds a week with no exercise? Now, of course you can exercise. They didn't exercise. And keep it off. She's kept that weight off now for 8 years. Or Julie, look at this one. This woman, 35 pounds in 37 days. Look, Tanya, look at her body transformation. That's not Photoshop. Is that crazy, everybody? Crazy? Or my friend's daughter? 60 pounds in 3 months. 60. Look at her face. Look at her arms. Look at her body. That's not Photoshop. That's not, what do they call it? Photo hacking. That's not AI. No, that's the real thing. Tanya, is that cool or what? What do you think about that picture? You think her life is better than it was and she's kept it off for 8 years now? Two of the main reasons to do it is, number one, maintenance, that you keep it for the rest of your life. And also, this is a detox. It's medically proven. Blood, stool, urine, fat analysis. This is helping remove chemicals from the body. That's why people are shrinking so much. Because as we breathe and drink and eat these chemicals that you can't avoid, your body takes that chemical and stuffs it in your fat cells, and your fat cells expand. That's why when you look at her on day 1, look at the bloating in her stomach. Look at day 30. It's not Photoshop. No sit-ups, no crunches, no exercise at all. Look at the change. That's because of detoxification. The research has proved it through blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis. And by the way, she gained 6 to 9% lean muscle with no exercise. Now, we're not against exercise, so some of you may think that, just because you're thin that you're avoiding this. No. They did a study, listen to me, everyone. 300 fit athletes. They did MRIs on their bodies. And what they found around their brain, their heart, their lungs, kidney, prostate, breast tissue, whatever, this white halo of this toxic fat in people that didn't appear on the outside to be fat at all. But you have to understand we're all living in a world now that's unbelievably toxic. I know because I discovered the medical syndrome called TDOS. T for toxins, D for nutritional deficiency, O for being overweight, S is for stress. It's a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office. We all have it. We're all storing chemicals in our body, whether you know it or not. And you know what the sad part is, everyone? We didn't even know until 2005 we were storing chemicals in our body. That was done in a huge study by Mount Sinai Medical School in New York. So now they've had 20 years of study on what these chemicals are doing inside our body. So I'm going to read to you from the latest updates because you have to understand one of the main reasons to do this is to assist your body in beginning to remove these chemicals that we're storing on a daily basis inside our fat cells. It's not up for debate. That's what's going on. So listen to what they've said. The Endocrine Society, the largest organization of experts devoted to the research on hormones and the clinical practice of endocrinology, reports the rise in the incidence in obesity matches the rise in the use and distribution of industrialized chemicals. We call these chemicals obesogens. They go on to say, simply put, obesogens are chemicals that disrupt the function of our hormonal system, leading to weight gain and many of the diseases that curse the American populace. They enter our body from a variety of sources, from natural compounds in soy, from artificial hormones fed to animals, plastics in food packaging, chemicals added to processed food, and pesticides sprayed into produce. They act in a variety of ways mimicking human hormones such as estrogen. Are you listening, ladies, in menopause? Blocking the action of other hormones such as testosterone. Are you listening, men? And essentially reprogram us to gain weight. What are you doing about obesogens? Had any of you even put in the chat for me? Had any of you even heard about an obesogen until today? Why do you think it is that people complain to us? It's not just about how much weight they have, but how much fat, especially around the abdomen area. Now, why is that more there than other parts? Because the body is protecting your kidney and your livers, the biggest filters in the body. So it's building those fat cells are absorbing those chemicals to keep them away from our internal organs. Because the livers now are overwhelmed to the point where they estimate 25% of us have non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Here's something else you probably don't know. Right now, the CDC, Center for Disease Control, estimates 92.3% of us are metabolic and healthy with 3 of 5 factors. If you are overweight, high blood pressure, high blood sugar, high cholesterol, high triglycerides, you're considered metabolic unhealthy. Now, you never heard of that before because back in like 1964, maybe 3 or 4% of the population was metabolic unhealthy. Right now, it's 92%. Now, don't fool yourself. If you're on any medication, like for high blood pressure, high blood sugar, you still have those conditions, so you'd still be metabolically unhealthy. Right now, to tell you how bad it is, this metabolic syndrome stuff, out of a $4.5 trillion healthcare, that's what we're spending per year, 4.5 trillion, 1.5 trillion is treating metabolic syndrome, which is total lifestyle disease, meaning we could really do something about it. It's caused by our lifestyles, unknowingly by us. As a matter of fact, believe it or not, going on these diets are making us unhealthy. It's compromising our own immune system and making us more vulnerable to diseases. These are all medical facts. I mean, again, maybe some of you don't like the fact that I'm sharing this with you, or you think that I don't make things up. See, here's what's cool. When you deal with real research, not with marketing claims, not with, influencers that are giving you opinions, and some of them, they're medical doctors, they're PhDs, they're whatever there is. But how come they don't have any peer-reviewed human trial studies? Why don't they have any peer-reviewed human trial studies? Because the evidence would say that the claims that they're making are unsupported. Now, you don't have to believe me necessarily, but let's talk about PubMed. PubMed is the biggest, let's call it, library for scientific studies. You can look it up, PubMed. It's well known, right? So I had someone challenge me last week about the fact that they had some company that had a detox product, a weight loss product, et cetera, and they had peer-reviewed human trial studies in PubMed. Okay, now I'm reading to you from PubMed. Okay, as of June, this is what they were saying, PubMed. As of June 15, 2025, there are no irrefutable, peer-reviewed human trial studies on PubMed or elsewhere that broadly substantiate the claims of commercial detox products for toxin removal, weight loss, or health. Not one. This is not a product. This is a system of food. There's no product to buy. 10 of these are on PubMed. So you're going, that's their, none. There's none. There's none. And what are you following? What are you doing? Why are you doing it? Because it sounds like that's going to work. Diets. I mean, again, I'm coming back and repeating this. This is the June 9th issue of Women's World. Many of you, it's the #1 women's magazine in the world. I coached the 2 women on the cover. The daughter is 57 years old. She's a registered, she's a nurse, lost 50 pounds in 3 months. The mom, 80, lost 90 pounds in 9 months, and they both have kept it off for 3 years. This is the cover story. This is a news story. And they followed it up with a huge article inside that you all can read, of course. Let me just find it here real quick. Here's the article. You all can see it there. The new protein miracle diet. Well, that's not an advertisement. That's a news story. Now, you can think what you want, but there's no way to edit this. And the reason that they did the story was because of these 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies that they knew that he's the top weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world, rated the #1. You have an amazing opportunity to hit the do-over, the reset button to change the rest of your lives. We're only at 2,200 likes. Come on, can we get some more taps on this? Are all of you enjoying this? Are all of you learning something? Are all of you understanding this new hope? So who else? I'd be ecstatic. I gained 40 in a year, right, Tanya? Well, imagine she lost 10 kilos in a month, or I'll translate it for you. She lost 30. She lost 30 kilos in 3 months. Tanya, how much would that excite you? 30 kilos in 3 months without any exercise. Now, if you exercise, Tanya, you might even do better than that. Just to let you know. Okay, hold on. Well, then DAP, what would you like me to do? I just explained the whole thing. If you don't like science DAP, you're probably on the wrong podcast. I'm sorry. You are. Then there's plenty of researchers. They'll give you a 1-minute explanation. They'll sell you a bunch of stuff that doesn't work. It's real simple, DAC. This was developed by the top medical researchers in the world in the fields of obesity, on nutrition, and physiology. Here's what they did. Okay, I promise I can do it in 2 minutes for you. Essentially what they did is they figured out after 40 years, 100 studies, thousands of people, why diets don't work. It's real simple. Your body doesn't even know what a calorie is. Do you know what the definition of a calorie is? Because I didn't 24 years ago. So the researchers did a new approach. They said, we want to go find foods that have high levels of nutrition with low levels of consumption. So they created a grocery list that you would get proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables, but not giving you calorie counts, giving you serving sizes. Okay, got that so far? Because see, what happens to you on a diet, whether you know it or not, it has nothing to do with calorie counting. It has the fact to do when you lower the amount of food you're consuming, you're also lowering the amount of nutrition, which triggers the starvation mode in your body, and you're burning your fat, your muscles for fuel. That's what's going on. And it slows down your metabolism, and you gain all the weight back. Well, the researchers said, we want to give you food with high enough nutrients, even though we give you less quantity of food, that won't happen. So 30% of what you consume, you get a grocery list, you take it to the grocery store. The other 70% comes from these exotic foods from around the world, from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, that represent huge amounts of nutrition, but small quantities of food. Then they invented 2 new ways of eating food. 5 days a week, you have 4 meals a day. You start with these exotic foods from around the world, lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store, and a 4th meal after dinner. So 5 days a week, you're having 4 meals a day. That's called protein pacing. The other thing that was critical that they did for her and everybody was when they ate made a difference. So it was the amount of time from breakfast, let's say, to lunch, then from lunch to dinner, and then from dinner to the 4th meal. That's where the pacing became critical. Then 2 days a week, she did something completely revolutionary new called intermittent nutritional fasting. On those days, no food from the grocery store, and it wasn't fasting, it wasn't water fasting, it wasn't time-restricted eating. It was fasting with nutrition. Those days, only these exotic foods from around the world, but this time she ate them 8 times a day. You heard me. People weighed 500 pounds that weren't hungry. Because see, you're not hungry, DAP, for calories. If you think you are, no. Your body has no idea what a calorie is. Your body only cares about nutrition. And when you talk about results, you're going to tell me, DAP, you've ever seen anything like that? That older gentleman, 40 pounds, 52 inches in a month with no exercise, and look at his blood work, his A1C from 8.4 to 6.4, his triglycerides 242 to 124. Yeah, maybe I do talk a lot because I've got real science. I don't have hyperbole. I was going over, for example, explaining why all the medical research now says that counting calories is completely ridiculous. Because I'll read, to save time, I'll read from Medicare, a big study just published. Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments. Diets are not the answer. Our Medicare research has reviewed long-term outcomes of calorie-restricted diets to assess whether dieting of any form is an effective treatment for obesity. The studies show that 2/3 of dieters regain more weight than they lost on any diet. In summary, there's little support for the notion that diets lead to lasting weight loss or health benefits. With all due respect, I would say to you, what do you think you're going to do to lose weight and improve your health for the rest of your life? Because this is long term. This picture here, it's 8 or 9 years ago. He's kept the weight off for 8 or 9 years. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. This is revolutionary. I'm sorry that you're probably right. It's good feedback. Maybe I do talk too much, but it's because I want people to understand this is not some little gimmicky thing. This is based on medical proof. I've written 4 best-selling books with some of the top medical doctors in the world. I did 20 shows on PBS. I've done over 1,500 live lectures at universities and hospitals and towns. Even went to China. And for 22 of my 23 years, DAP, that meant zero in the medical world, zero. So now to have the medical proof, it's changed everything. We've got doctors and physician's assistants and nurses and people swarming to this because it's the only medical proof ever in history they've cracked the code on obesity and weight loss. So again, I apologize in advance if I'm talking too much for some of you. It's just that's my nature. I can only go as fast as I can go that my brain will process because this is really big stuff. This isn't a bunch of nonsense. This isn't some sales gimmick or marketing ploy. Again, who else would like to know how they did this? Lola, thank you for this info. Great. So DAP, does that make sense? Give me a yes or a no. But Lola, do you understand you can go right above her head there in blue, the new health conversation, and see the medical proof for free, and we won't contact you. But you see right above this is free coaching. So if you go there, you like what you see, you can get and the coaching's free. There's no gimmicks here. It's not like you go there and, oh, well, the consultation's free and then we charge you $500 to coach. Or I showed someone else was asking me, this is the medical document that they use in the medical studies. Let's call it the nutritional prescription in a sense. And all of these are daily videos with the researchers who don't sell anything and don't have any no monetary motivation to educate you about what they did. And this includes everything I'll show you. It includes things like, maybe you can read it there, the main menu schedule and also recommended food list. And those little squares you see in there, each one of those is a daily video. And they're about 8-10 minutes long from the top researchers explaining to you why diets don't work, why they're telling you they, as the top weight loss researchers in the world, they'll never recommend any form of traditional diet again to anybody. They said it would be unethical. Why would we put people on diets that takes them 8 weeks to lose weight and up to 40% is lean muscle? Where like her, she lost as much weight in the first 7 days as they lose in 8 weeks of dieting. It's really that simple. So who else would like to make a comment? Also, we're at 3,600 likes. Come on, let's get some more likes up there. Let's get to 4,000 and beyond. So again, DAP, I'm just asking, did that make sense? Do you understand? Do you want me to go into more detail? See, what I want to do with all of you, I'm just trying to give you the context, okay? I'm trying to say, look, we're contrasting every diet out there right now that is a miserable failure. And why? Not an opinion on my part. We're reading to you. Here's another big study, for example. The title, The Science Behind Why Diets Don't Work, okay? Here's what they said. Our researchers reviewed more than 30 long-term studies of all diets showing that going on a diet actually causes weight gain. Did you hear what they said? A review of more than 30 long-term studies on diets showed that going on a diet actually causes weight gain. And the more diets someone has tried, the more weight they weigh. So not only does dieting not work for long-term weight loss, but it's also associated with increased risk of binge eating, eating disorders, and long-term weight gain. Why are you dieting? Did you know you're dieting to gain weight? 2/3 of you anyway. See, that's why I understand. Maybe you think you want some like 1 minute quick answer, but you have that available to you on social media. But they're not giving you any medical proof. And according to every study, whatever you're following from them, 2/3 you're going to weigh more than what you did when you started. Does this? I mean, look at that. How many of you would love to lose 5 pounds a week? 5 pounds a week. I see people at the gym. I go to the gym twice a week. I have a trainer. I see, men and women there. They're on this treadmill. They're running. They don't lose an ounce. They don't lose anything. I mean, it's just, it's sad. It really is sad that all of you, we've all been so, and I don't really even fault the people supplying this information. They believe it, but they don't have any medical proof to back it up. They're all theories. And the theories suck because we're looking in 4.5 years, 86% of us are going to be overweight or obese. Does that sound to any of you like it's working? Okay. Oh, just click your thing, sister. Yes, Shimmer, exactly. No, Shimmer. This 30-day money-back guarantee is from the 70% of the food you buy directly from the researchers from around the world. The coaching is free. Don't get confused. It's 100% money back guarantee on 70% of what you would spend, okay? So the coaching, 100% free. There's no charge for coaching. If that's misleading, I guess I need to change the verbiage there. But no, the 100% money back guarantee is for the 70% of what you're going to spend in real dollars. The coaching is free, okay? But let me talk to this person about Mounjaro, okay? Let's just talk about the GLP-1s, J Prosperity Me. Okay, good. Now, here's the study done in the New England Journal of Medicine. It's in the public domain. You all get to see it. You can go there and look it up. In this case, it wasn't a Mounjaro, but it's one of the GLP-1s, semaglutide. Many of you probably have heard of it. Okay, now listen. This study is called Once Weekly Semaglutide in Adults Overweight or Obese. I'm just sharing with you what's in the physical study to show you be the judge about how effective you think these shots are. This was a 68-week study. That's 1 year and 4 months, okay? The weight loss after 68 weeks was 32 pounds. And of the 32 pounds people lost, 40% was lean muscle mass. So, Lola, how does that sound to you? Wait a minute, how about 21 pounds in a month? How about 32 pounds in 68 weeks? You be the judge. I'm not even going to comment. Because, see, we're not against the shots. That's what's so crazy. Because they're helping diabetics and people morbidly obese. But you see how ineffective they are compared to this. Because really, what's the shot? It's a low-calorie diet. It slows down the food moving through your digestive tract. So you eat less, you're full longer, but what are you shorting yourself? Nutrition. 40% of what they're losing is lean muscle mass. They're coming off this thing and they're all gaining a half a pound a day, or at least. That's the reality of what's going on. So Shimmer, do you understand? So the 100% money back guarantee is the 70% of the foods that you're going to buy from the suppliers, not from us. The coaching is 100% free. Don't get dissuaded, okay? Give me a yes if you understand that. So Lola, does that make sense? Do you understand now why? Do the shot if you want, but compared to this, compared to my friend's daughter, 60 pounds in 3 months, 60 pounds in 3 months, really? And you can get the free medical right there, the New Health Conversation. As a matter of fact, here it is. Type in the New Health Conversation. There's the New Health Conversation. Nothing to buy there, just the medical proof. But you can get a free coach if that's what you want. And I guess there's some confusion on the website. I got to take a look at that and make sure that there's a 100% money back guarantee on 70% of the food you're going to buy. Not coaching is free. So we need to change that verbiage. Lola, yes, thank you. I would never do. Okay, that's great. So Shimmer, does that make sense? I'm sorry for any misleading comments. That's not what our intent. I'll have to look at it after no one's ever even brought that up before. I thought it was pretty clear because I thought when I was explaining to you, 30% of the food you buy from the grocery store, obviously they're not going to give you a refund. But the 70% of the foods you're buying directly from those suppliers, they'll refund all your money on, not from the grocery store, of course, what you spend on those exotic foods if it doesn't work. No questions asked, 100% money back guarantee. And yes, everyone, the coaching is free. It's 100%, no charge for coaching, period. There's no charge for the blueprint, which is what they gave the patients in the studies with their daily video instructions from the researchers. It's all free. The only thing you're buying, and not from us, is food from the grocery store, 30% of your budget, 70% from these exotic foods from around the world. So hopefully that makes sense, okay? So who else? Oh, we're at 4,000 likes. Thank you all very much. Let's keep tapping on that screen. Let's get some more. Oh, Lola gave me a heart. User 544 gave me a heart. Peach Chest gave me a heart. Thank you all. You know, let me be honest with you. This whole thing on TikTok, I love it. I see these hats. I see the roses. I know it's all good. I don't really understand it, but I'm so appreciative. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I want to let you know that. I don't always acknowledge it because honestly, I'm this mad researcher and my brain works. I concentrate so much on the research and the science. I guess to my own fault because people think that I'm talking too much. But don't you want evidence? Don't you want real medical proof? Do you want me to just say, hey, go on this, go to the website and get a coach and do it? Or do you want to know why would you want to go there? Why would you want to spend your valuable time? Because that's all you have in life. You have 168 hours in a week. That's it. I don't care who you are. 168 hours, that's it. No less, no more. So who else would like to ask me a question? Because I am going to need to close this off in about another 5 minutes. Yeah, and Joanne 469, that's my TikTok, everybody. They've typed it in for me, the New Health Conversation. But the website, again, let's go over that. You type in the New Health Conversation. It comes up on Google. Boom, there's the website. It's free to go there. Does everybody understand that? Let me show you again. So again, in blue, the New Health Conversation, it's completely free to go there. There's nothing to buy on that website. It's just a medical proof. And if you like what you see, okay, you scroll down, you get free coaching. Now, there's a little bit of confusion apparently. 70% or the money back guarantee is on 70% of the food that you're buying directly, not from us, from these suppliers who've gone to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, that represent 70% of the food you're going to consume as you're doing this. And then moving forward, I didn't even tell all of you about maintenance, so that's a good way to close. Maintenance is simple. You have one of these exotic meals for breakfast, 2 normal meals, and then maybe every couple months do another 48-hour intermittent nutritional fast once you get to your goal. Look, we have people with no thyroids. Imagine, no thyroids. We have a man with a heart transplant. We have people with kidney transplants. We have people with no gallbladders. And we're not treating, curing, diagnosing, or preventing any medical diseases. We're not doing that. We're sharing with you the medical proof. And again, just to show you one of the medical outcomes. Yes, Joanne, perfect. No, Joanne, you got to put the in front of it. Not New Health Conversation. It won't come up. So Joanne, let me show you again. So everybody click in the New Health Conversation. Go to Google, boom, there it is. It's the New Health Conversation, not New Health Conversation. That might be a different website, but it's not the right one that you want to go to, okay? So let's talk about the maintenance. Like I said again, maintenance is simple. One of these meals a day, the exotic foods around the world. Here's what I would say to you. Why wouldn't you want to put, in essence, the world's most perfect meal from a nutritional standpoint of view in your body every morning to start your day off? Why wouldn't you want to do that? So the key to this is maintenance. The key is maintenance. No, Joanne, thank you very much. I can't thank you enough for all the support that I'm getting. We're at 5,000 likes. That's great. Just to let you know, I'll come on again Eastern Standard Time, okay? Let's say 11:30 Eastern Standard. I'll do it at my second podcast of the day. I try to do 4 of them a day because there's so many people that want to know about this. And a lot of times people, that gives you time to go to the website, the New Health Conversation, see the medical proof, and sometimes they've gotten a coach or maybe you have more questions you want me to answer for you, okay? But I want to thank everybody one last time so that you understand. If you go to the website, we won't contact you. If you notice it, but if you scroll down, it says free coaching. When you go there, it'll say 100% money back guarantee, but let's be clear. The coaching is free, so there's no 100% money back guarantee in coaching because you're not paying for it. The 100% money back guarantee they're referring to is the 70% of what you're going to spend from the foods that come from around the world, from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America. Those researchers will refund all your money for 70% of what you're going to consume. If it didn't work, you don't like it, you don't have to have a reason. Okay, let's just clarify that. Somebody pointed out to me, and I want to make sure now every time that I point that out, that the money back guarantee is on coaching is free. So it's not you're not paying for coaching. If that's misleading, I apologize. Okay. All right, everybody, I'm going to sign off. Thanks for all of you, Jay Prosperity. Thank you, Lola. Thank you, Joanne. All of you for supporting me. Tell your friends about it because the website is obviously free to anybody in the world. Everybody have a great day or afternoon or evening or tomorrow, wherever you are in the world.